Good morning, I'm Kevin, and today in our Experts in Action series, I have a very special guest with me. It's someone I'm very proud to call a friend. His name is Mark Thompson. Now, I met Mark a number of years ago now, and we have a kind of very interesting relationship because Mark is very definitely a mentor. He has a lot of people he mentors, and I'm very proud to say he actually mentors me because he's taught me a lot of things, especially about email, which is my speciality, if you like. That's where I make most of my income. So without further ado, let me introduce you to Mark. Hi, Mark. How are you?
I'm fine, Kevin. How are you, mate?
Very good. Thank you, Mark. Now, what I want to do is, because I know you're a very, very busy man, I'd like to start, because I've heard you tell this story before, and it's a really interesting one. Could you tell our listeners today, please, about your story, how you got started in IM?
Right. So, you want the full version or the short version?
Give us a full version. They'll enjoy it.
I used to work for IBM and Hewlett-Packard in the UK, and my hobby was racing motorbikes. So we came away to Jerez here in Spain, and we spent a week down here as a family, and absolutely loved it. Went back to the UK. About 2 weeks later, I was sat in a traffic jam at 6 o'clock in the morning outside Manchester. And I used to go away sort of Monday morning at 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock, whatever, and get home Friday evening or Saturday morning. So I completely missed my daughter growing up, missed school plays, missed birthdays. And I just sat in this traffic jam, got my phone out, which was a big brick thing.
I remember that.
Sell the house, we're moving to Spain. And literally 3 months later, we were over here in Spain. I was going to do a motorbike related business, got screwed over by the insurance company. I was told it was going to be, I think it was 300 euros a year. It was 30,000. No, it was going to be 3,000 euros. They quoted, and then when I tried to insure all the bikes, it was 30,000. So that business plan went out the window very quickly. And so I just typed in one day when I was down to my last few hundred euros. I typed in how to make money online, and as they say, the rest is history.
So that's how you get started. So, okay,
15 years ago.
Okay, I am being internet marketing, by the way. I realised using an abbreviation there. How difficult was it for you to get started in internet marketing?
It was 4 months of 16-hour days. Literally.
And presumably that's because, unlike me and people that I refer to, Mark, you have no one to show you the way. I'd like to just jump in there, because what we're leading up to is Mark has a membership, which is, by the way, is free. It has free level and paid level. And Mark is a very, very good tutor. So I've referred quite a few people now to Mark's system, and they've got someone to follow. You see, if I ask Mark right now, if you had a blueprint to follow, rather than doing 16-hour days over 4 months, how quickly do you think you'd have got started?
Much quicker. I mean, back then, there was internet marketing was sort of in its infancy. There was a few people around, but very, very few. And it was just a case building. At that point, it was building websites, sticking AdSense on them, and crossing your fingers. Now, 4 months in, after 16-hour days, I was doing $4,000 a month. So it was worth putting the time and effort in, but it was every day. And it's funny because if I'd been working at the time and I was trying to do it part-time, I'd have given up. And so many people do give up because they can't afford to spend the time and effort. So when I teach people, I try and get things down to the absolute basics so they can do it in half an hour or an hour a day.
One of the things I love about Mark, I don't follow his teaching as much now because I have a lot of things on my own. But Mark tells you, I'm sorry about that, but I have quite a few things on at the moment, and I have family who are professional athletes and things like this that I have to keep up with. But one of the things that Mark is very good at, if you've got this massive marketplace, just one thing, 95% of that is going to be rubbish and time wasting. And Mark will come straight in here and he'll say, well, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. And one of the beauties of what Mark does is he does it himself. He's the guinea pig. He goes out there, and when he gets it wrong, he tells you he got it wrong and the mistakes he made. So
today, I'm just about to put a new course into SMO, which is repurposing. So what was it? October 24th, I thought, hang on a minute. I've got all this content. We do a live show every week. We have podcasts and stuff like that. We've got all this content that's not getting used. What happens if I cut it down into little 2-minute segments? So October, I sent it out to a few places. 700 clicks it got. 700 bits of traffic from one. So hang on, we can really take this up a level. So my basically the training I'm doing, recorded at the moment, it's going live today, is getting 100 clicks, 100 posts from one 2-minute bit of content.
I'll be watching that. I'll definitely be watching that. So I'll be what
you're saying about being a guinea pig, the first person who's doing it is me. I said, I'm not. The trouble with internet marketing, so many people go, yeah, do this, this, and this. Okay, because they've seen Rich Sheffrin say, do this, this, and this, so they do it without even trying it. So I take the opposite approach. I only ever teach what I'm doing myself, which is why sometimes I'll be talking about AdWords, and then 6 months later, someone goes, well, why aren't you talking about AdWords anymore? I'm not doing it anymore. I'm doing something else. I found a better way on Facebook, or I found a better way on AdWords and stuff like that.
And this is what I love about Mark's training. He only gives you what he tries himself. I came across to see him in Spain once, and I came back with some very good ideas that gave me a monster headache and ages to get it right. But it worked. It really worked. And I'll tell you about some of my big success in a moment. But I wanted to ask 2 things here. I've just got a couple of notes here. First of all, tell them what SMO is, because a lot of people are going, what are they talking about, SMO?
It's serious marketers only. It's basically a membership site. So we've got a free membership area called the Foundation, where you can go in there, ask any questions. I've got a few bits of free training. We're moving everything around at the moment, but there's some free training there you can get hold of. I post stuff in there pretty much every day, guides, answering questions, whatever. People come, oh, I'm stuck, I can't do this. Here's what I would do. So that's that part of it.
And Mark comes back to you really quickly. And if you're in that membership, you'll also find, when I get time, I've had a little bit of hearing problem just recently, so I haven't been going to the SMO as much. But, I'll go in there and I'll give my tuppence worth, and then Mark say, no, that's all wrong. I'll tell him about it. So, but you'll get other people who'll help you. And these are people who are always doing it. They're all serious. What I wanted to ask is, because I want to lead into something, what are the big reasons why people fail in internet marketing, Mark? I mean, so many people come with great aspirations. They've been told by everyone. And by the way, what you just said is about Rich Sheffrin. There's so many people do rehashes of rehashes of rehashes, and Mark's not that. And they say, yeah, this will work for you. And then it doesn't. And they leave really disappointed, never to return. So what are the big reasons why people fail?
The first thing is, people love to start a project. They love to build a website. Okay, the joy of starting with nothing and building a landing page.
That's me.
You're excited, and then the next day you wake up and go, oh, what do I do now? Oh, I've got to drive traffic. Oh, now that's boring. I hate traffic. I hate driving traffic. I've got to spend some money on ads. Oh, I don't want to do that. And that's really, people don't follow through. They reckon, they being the internet, reckon that it takes about 6 months for a site to get starting to rank relatively decently in Google. So if you're just going for organic traffic, you're going to get nothing for 6 months. Well, people give up after 2 months.
Yeah.
So they just leave it and they sell it, or they just forget about it and don't do anything. So it's never, ever going to get traction. The way to succeed at internet marketing is to do one thing a day. It doesn't matter if it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour, 5 hours, doesn't matter. If you've got 10 minutes, just do one thing that will just move your business along a tiny bit. Just nudge it along a little, move that needle, because you get it just ticking over. One thing, go and get one link from somewhere, answer one question on Reddit or Quora, put a link back to your site. It doesn't matter what you do. If you only have 5 minutes, sat on the bus going home, get your phone out and do something to drive your business forward. That you will succeed. You can't not succeed if you do that every day.
And for me and Mark today, that one thing, or one of those one things, is making a video so we get out to more people. So it's just about consistency, really. And if you're consistent, then it really starts to happen. So is it inexpensive, or is it expensive to get started in IM, in your opinion?
No, it's the easiest thing in the world. You can actually do everything without spending a cent.
Not a penny. If
or
you
a
don't
pound,
want,
or a penny, or a lira, or whatever. No, you don't have to spend any money. You can do everything yourself. Obviously, there are tools out there that make things easier. So, for example, one thing I use at the moment costs $12.95 a month. That's not an issue for most people. But even if you can't afford that, you can do things manually yourself with free tools. There's enough free tools out there. You can do your research using Uber Suggest, completely free. That will get you started. You can build stuff on WordPress, completely free. You need a domain name, or you can just start on Medium, completely free. You need hosting, or you can use Medium, completely free. So there are ways of doing it. You can post to Instagram every day or Facebook, completely free. You can post on Twitter, completely free. So yes, it is possible to do it free, but spending money does help.
you have to be prepared to invest into yourself. Now, a lot of people out there are just cheap, or some haven't got the money, but you do need to be prepared to invest in yourself, because Mark says you can get away with doing most of it for nothing if you want to, and next to nothing. But if you have the wrong mindset, if you're not prepared to invest into yourself, if you pay peanuts, expect monkeys. Okay.
Yeah. It depends. I mean, I know a lot of people who are really having a hard time at the moment, and they can do it. They absolutely can do it for free. Then when they get traction, rather than spend that money, try and invest it back in your business.
Absolutely.
I often tell a story about Justin Brooke. So Justin Brooke is a media buyer, and he runs a thing called Ad Skills. Now, I think it was 8 years ago. He started with $30. He had $30, and he invested that in ads. And he basically, whatever he made in those ads, he put back in. So the first month, it was $30 a day he was spending on ads. Next month, it was $2 a day. In 11 months, he had a six-figure income just from reinvesting, and because he got a winning ad and he's rolled it over and rolled it over rather than take money out. Now he's got one of the biggest digital marketing agencies in the world, but he started with $30. So anyone can do it.
And that's not a one-off story. You'll hear a lot of stories like that.
I had about $100 to spend on my online marketing career when I started, €100. That was 15 years ago. I've not had to work a day in my life since then for anyone else.
So, and that's the beauty. And if he doesn't want to work, because we both have residual income streams now, which means we don't have to sit here. If Mark gets fed up of speaking to people like me and things like that, he can often have a few weeks off, and he does occasionally. I've just come back from the Canary Islands for a couple of weeks, and probably later this year I'll disappear off to the Philippines if we ever get that house finished. And that's the way it is. Residual income is one of the beauties of online marketing. You have the chance to establish residual income streams. So it's not about investing just in advertising, but you need to prepare to be invested into yourself to go forward. And the more you learn, the more you earn. That is so true in internet marketing. And by the way, this should carry a government health warning, because be very careful. It is very addictive.
Yeah, it is. One thing I would say though, keep it simple.
Yeah,
seriously. If you have one, I've been a victim of this. I've confused stuff. In fact, I'll tell you, when I finish this, I'll tell you a little story about something I'm going to admit to tomorrow on our. We do a live show every Friday. But start with one landing page. Start with one thank you page. Start with something you can give away, and drive traffic to that. It doesn't matter. As I said, go to Quora. Answer questions related to your topic. Send people to your article. On that article, have a way of people opting into your email list. Have an email sequence on the back end of that that sells whatever you want to sell. Right. So talk about two things. Firstly, you'll probably remember this. 3 years ago, I sat down around about this time of year. I went, right, let's see what assets I've got, and I actually saved $10,000 by cancelling stuff that I wasn't using. You remember that?
I was going to actually mention that. Mark likes toys, don't you, Mark?
Yeah. So I mean, but seriously, I saved $10,000 just by cancelling stuff that I was paying for that I wasn't really using, that I didn't need, and cutting things right down to the absolute basics.
So do you mind saying? I'll go first if you like. It costs me, I think, about $80 to $100 a month to run a business. Now, I'm not going to tell you what I earn, but I'll tell you what, it's probably 5 or 6 times what the average income is. And I don't have to work that hard. And I'm spending $80 to $100 a month. I could make it easy. I don't have to use those tools. Those tools, this one you see right now that's allowing me to speak to Mark, it's $25 a month, I think it, Mark. And yeah, and it's giving me the chance now to speak with Mark, speak with expert, attract more people into my circle of influence. How much do you spend a month? I know it's a lot more than me because you've got this nice new office.
Yeah, a nice new office. But I use, right, so I pay for, basically I pay for an email service provider, Active Campaign. Yeah. Let's say $100 a month. I pay for a place to host all my training, another $100 a month. That's $200 a month. I would say probably $300 to $400 a month is my complete business.
Now you compare that to a friend of mine who's just started a new business in a town. I'm at the moment. I'm in England. I'm in the UK, and I live near Weston-super-Mare. And a friend has started a restaurant local. Now get this: it's not his first restaurant. It's cost him in cold blood before he makes any profit. He's put £160,000 into that. And what he'll make in probably 3 or 4 years when he's paid that back won't probably be as much as some people who are making money online. Yeah. So it's not an expensive business. Mark has, because he provides training, his costs are more expensive. For me, not so expensive. Mark actually saved me money. This is a real big boost for Mark now, because as well as teaching, Mark specializes in internet marketing, and that's in email marketing, because where he lives, he used to have the great Andre Chaperon as a golf partner. So they taught each other a lot. So probably Andre taught Mark more than he learned from him, but Andre's a great world-class expert at email. So Mark started a specialized email group, and he said, "Can I have a go at it?" So I thought, yeah, I'll give it a go. I've never found anything Mark does not work. I've found things that Mark does that I don't like doing, but I've never found anything Mark does that doesn't work. So I followed what he did, and it's very technical. When you get into it, you use an Active Campaign, which is the email platform. And I'd always been a bit lazy with it in the past. Anyway, to cut a long story short, I've got 16 sequences which make me most of my money. And I use it on one of these and just carry on driving traffic. And I suddenly found that most of my emails were not engaged. It was costing me money to keep them on my list, and it was dragging me down. So inside, I think, a 2-month period, I cut my list down. I think they went down to about 20% of what it was. So I had all that dead wood on there, but by taking Mark's ideas and going for engagement, I quadrupled my income. So I shrunk the list down to 20% or 22% of the size, but I was making 4 times as much money. Since then, I've done that, still not with all of them, but I've done it with the majority of my sequences. And I have a very, very profitable email marketing business. And that's just one aspect of internet marketing that Mark can teach you. And he's great at email. I love his email. I copy most of them. I put them in my words.
Yeah. No, the good thing about emails, I love writing them. I found one I actually recycled one the other day. I wrote it back a couple of years ago. I read it the other day and went, actually, it's really good. I'll just use it again.
But, it's funny how you move on, isn't it? You know, I'll tell you somebody else I use as well is Paul Mort. I find him such an inspiring daily email writer that I always find ideas in there for putting my own emails down. I want to ask you a question. What are the 3 biggest false myths in internet marketing today? Because so many of them. Yeah, you can make 45 million by tomorrow.
Let me have a look. You're one funnel away.
Yeah.
I absolutely hate. Right, so I'm going to say this now. Right, if you start promoting ClickFunnels, I'm so sorry. Don't buy ClickFunnels. Anybody, really, do not buy ClickFunnels. It is a MLM pyramid scheme. Really, sorry, I should quantify that. It's not really, but it's almost like that. You don't need ClickFunnels to succeed. And
there are much better resources around than
not only that. I mean, it keeps on getting pushy. You've got to have ClickFunnels to build it. No, you don't. A funnel is simply a page that goes to another page that goes to something else, right? So you can build a page on WordPress for free. Okay, you can send your traffic to that page. When people click on that, on one of the links on that they go to another page. You can build that for free. You don't need to spend $97 a month on ClickFunnels.
No, I totally agree.
For checkout, you when you're starting, stick a PayPal checkout. One of the easiest things you can do, and I'm going all over the place now. If you have a Facebook group, right, link out a little link to your PayPal account or little to a checkout, right? Just put a link in the Facebook group. That's all you need. You can make sales like that. You don't have to go way over the top with this stuff.
One of the things I like about Mark is he's very much, well, we're very similar. I mean, we're both a bit scatty. We go off in different directions. So what Mark's talking about there, ClickFunnels is a tool online, and it is an expensive tool, and you don't need it. They make a lot of it, and you can, even if you're an absolute beginner, very quickly you can learn how to do exactly the same things. I've got a few more questions here, Mark. I know your time is very long. So what makes you different? What makes you? Because I couldn't say too much about you. No, I'm weird. You're strange, or is it I'm strange? You're weird.
I got that. What's made me different? I only ever teach what I do. If I read something, I will test it. I quite often wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and go, oh my God, I wonder if this thing I taught and I worked out 2 years ago will work with this thing I've just thought of now. So I test everything. I mean, I think that is a bit of a rarity in online marketing.
I think it's very strange what Mark's talking about, because I have very similar things happen. And I think this truly shows people, or highlights people who really love what they're doing. They suddenly wake up in the middle of the night and have to run to the office and start scribbling things down, because they know those ideas have come to them for a reason, and they're only going to probably be there for a few seconds if you don't scribble them down. And,
actually, Kevin, you've made a really good point there. I absolutely love this sort of business. Yeah. Absolutely love it. I can't imagine. Well, I'm unemployable now. I could never work for anyone else.
I'd agree with that also. I know I am.
Really, utterly unemployable. But I mean, I just love marketing. It's why I give away so much stuff in the free group. You know, I just love if one person takes something I've written, runs with it, and makes some money. That's the best feeling in the world. That's even better feeling than me sending out an email and making $5,000 or something like that.
Well, I've made lots of money from what you've taught, Mark. I take bits. And by the way, you say, you know, you couldn't think of anything better. I'm way past retirement age now. Yeah. Why do you think I do this? Mark goes out and plays golf because he's big and strong and used to march around.
I've retired from golf, mate.
You've finished golf?
I've finished golf. It's exactly 1 year tomorrow, the last time I played golf. I've not played golf for a year. Yeah, 364 days I've not played golf.
I heard you did the same thing, retired from beer at one point, but you're back to that as well.
I'm on beer now.
But anyway, I don't play golf. So to me, as someone who's retired, I just love this. If I can't do 3 or 4 hours every day, I love writing as well. I warned you earlier on, internet marketing is really...
Let me just move my camera a little bit. Speaking of writing, see that on the wall?
Yeah.
That's an email sequence.
Yeah.
That it could probably be the best tip I'm going to give anyone today. If you write an email sequence, print it out and put it on the wall and just leave it there for 3 or 4 days. Then
you got that from Tim, because I saw Tim doing this and now you're doing it.
Yeah.
Tim is somebody smart.
I've got the 6-foot email there.
Yeah. Could you just explain exactly what the sequence is? Because anyone going, oh, that sounds good. They're both talking about email marketing. They make money out of email marketing. Yeah. They go, what's the sequence? Could you just explain the sequence?
A sequence is literally 3, 5, 7 emails. So the first email, you'll introduce a topic. The next set of emails, you'll expand on it. And the third set of part of that sequence, you'll sell. So really, it's you introduce a problem in the first part of the sequence.
You smooth it and put some salt in it.
Yeah, you then basically stir it around, make it hurt a lot, get people to realize the problem they've got, and then finally go, hey, here's a calamine lotion.
That's right.
A calamine lotion is a product that fixes a problem that you've made them realize that they have.
And when they go into this sequence, as Mark said, it's going to be 3, 5, 7, 20, 50 emails. Yeah. And what you do is you're not trying to sell. You might be trying to sell one thing. The solutions are very often the products and what we're selling, and we earn a commission on it. So what we're actually doing, we're making. When people say, "Well, how do I?" Tell you exactly. The other day, somebody said, "What do you do?" And I said, "Well, basically, I help people find solutions to problems, and I take them." That's it, and I take them closer to achieving their dreams.
Yeah, exactly.
And somebody said, that must be the best job in the world. And I thought about it and I said, yeah, it is the very best job in the world. And that's what an email sequence is. And rather than sending out emails every day, I think I probably send out a couple of thousand emails most days through sequences. That's how I do it. I prepare sequences. And what Mark just told you is the most proper thing of all. Sorry?
Yeah, so basically what you do, you prepare it once, and then every time if somebody comes in a year's time, they get the same email that somebody came in today, and as Kevin said, you don't have to sell. In fact, I would say don't sell in the educate in entertainment. Like I talk about Major Tunde, who was a Nigerian astronaut. That's what I did this week. There's a whole load of things that you can talk about pop culture. So if you know. And my audience is like Kevin's probably average age of my audience. So I mean, I talk about black and white TV in black and white, and having 2 channels on TV and Magic Roundabout and stuff like that, because people can relate to it. And
I've got to jump in here. One of Mark's greatest products is probably one he won't own up to, but it's the one that got me interested in Mark. He wrote a little report, I think it was then, or a book, called Edutainment, was it?
Email Infotainer.
That's it, Email Infotainer.
The one I actually did a flash sale on 2 weeks ago.
I think you're saying it again. How long ago was it when I got involved?
Do you know what? In the space of a week, 3 people said exactly the same thing to me. Do you know what, Mark? What's happened to Email Infotainer? It was the best thing you'd ever done. So I went and rewrote it, and I've published it as a course. It's in the SMO. You've got access to it.
I will be making a video on that probably in the next couple of days. And just to explain to everybody else, how Mark cleared my head, I can tend to be a bit straight-laced sometimes. And I read this thing by Mark, and it said, entertain people, let them know about yourself, tell them about. And I thought, oh, and I was starting a new group at the time, a new email list. I came across Paul Mort as well, so I was using, steam was coming out of my ears using both of these guys' ideas. And I started speaking exactly what I thought about and saying what I thought, rather than how I thought I should write. And I made it entertaining. And what I found was that people were saying, we didn't get your email today, can you resend it? And if I told them about me or a little bit of what happened in my life, I had some stupid, if something silly happens to me, I'll write it in there. And people come back, you get more comments on that. So you don't have to just, if you write an email on engineering, for instance, you have your own, you don't have to write just on engineering, because people like to know about you, who's writing. If you can tell them, if you give them a little video like this occasionally, they'll love you for it.
Yeah, there's 2 things you got to remember with email. Okay, when you look at your inbox every day, which emails do you like and which emails do you hate? Now, if you're like me, you hate the ones that go, buy now, you know, not interested. I love reading the long ones.
Yeah.
And something that's interesting. So always create your emails how you would like to receive them.
Yeah.
And the second thing is write them as if you're sat around a dinner table or you're sat in a bar with your friends and you're just chatting. If you can do that, you're fine. In fact, some of my best emails have come from conversations at bars.
Yes, I've read quite a few though, and I always have my notebook at the side of me here. Sorry, and yeah, he's got about 5 as well. Because we have ideas when we're working. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's another good tip. Always have a notebook.
Yeah, because the ideas will come to you as you're going along. Just write it down.
Yeah, exactly. You'll get ideas for emails probably 100 times a day.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
When you first start out, you won't recognize that. But as you get on, you recognize it. Today, right? First thing this morning, opened up the Guardian on the iPad, and there was an article about a guy who started a stick library for dogs.
Stick
Right.
library.
Yeah, but it makes a lot of sense, because in the local park, obviously the council trim back the trees. They don't want sticks falling and hitting people on the head. So there's no sticks in the park for the dogs anymore. So he's got this stick library, and he gets the sticks and he files all the rough edges off them and puts them in a box in the park, right? And it's just like, take a stick, please return a stick. What a brilliant topic for an email.
Yeah. So many brilliant topics.
A whole product on that.
Well, I've just started a new sequence. I'm teaching people how to write emails, and it's probably, my old one was the most profitable email sequence. Everyone in my course, everybody going through it, I was making about £7 per subscriber per month, and it's been brilliant. And I've relooked at it just recently, and I put two things in. One of them, well, from Mark, is being make it entertaining. Let them see you. And the way to start is just write an email each day, 400 or 500 words, doesn't matter what it is, send it to yourself. Do that for 3 weeks. You'll look at the first ones and you'll go, oh, but the ones at the end of 2 weeks, you'll go, that's not bad. You'll come back 2 months later and those will go, oh, you'll get better and better and better and more confident. The other thing, Mark's stuff is great. What I learned from Paul Moore, say, look, if you don't like this, just unsubscribe. I don't want you on my list. And he's inviting people to unsubscribe all the time. And you keep a lean and hungry email list. Listen, Mark, I know you're busy, so we could speak all day, because, by the way, when I've been across to Mark, he stays up to 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning drinking beer, and he gets up the next morning. I'm gone. So I've got a couple more questions. And by the way, I'm going to say this twice. If you want to get into Mark's sphere of influence, you can join his SMO by clicking the link directly below this video. Okay, it'll take you through there. That'll be his free membership. You'll have a chance to upgrade to his paid membership, but that's the free membership, and it's probably one of the best things you'll do this week. Okay, so let me just ask those few questions, because afterwards he'll send me an email saying, bloody hell, Kev, you already said 10 minutes. So why should anyone consider internet marketing, Mark?
Because it is easy. It's one of the easiest you'll ever do. It is easy. Seriously, it is. As I said at the beginning, you set up a page to start with, one blog page, and then you set another one up which says thank you for signing up. And then on that first page, you put a little box and saying, if you'd like to learn more, click here. Or if you'd like a checklist, click here. If you want to learn how to train your dog, click here. And you build a list, and then you just send an email. And as Kevin says, you can automate the whole thing.
That's the beauty of it. So what I'm going to ask you then, it is simple. How should beginners avoid becoming overwhelmed? Because you know what happens. They come and they start 40 things and none of them get finished.
Right. First thing, know what you want. What's your end goal? So I always talk about it as if you're in Times Square in New York and you want to get to the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco, right? When you're in Times Square, you need to know where you're going, where you're going to end up your journey. So then you can plan your route. If you've got no idea what you want to achieve from online marketing, that's it. So what I teach my guys now is like $212 a day, right? That is your target, $212.
This is amazing. This is one of the last things I went through from Mark, was his $212 a day. And it made me think different about what I'm doing, because I was probably being a bit too in one area, and he made me think very differently about it. Tell more.
Right, so $212, it's going to sound really weird, and I do apologize, but it really works. So there's some psychology tests done, and it's a level of people's happiness in relation to how much money they have. So at $212 a day, which is $70,000 a year, that's maximum happiness. If you have $1 million a day coming in, you're not going to be any happier than if you got $270,000 a year.
I found that $1 million a day coming in, I don't want it at all.
No, but the other thing is 212 degrees is the temperature at which water changes state. Okay, so there's a whole state change from water to steam at 212 degrees. I think it's Fahrenheit, and we're in Celsius now, but in old money. So, and that's really it. $212 a day, you'll get maximum happiness level, and it's when things start to change. So
and if 212 is not enough, then it's going to be 2012. And
yeah,
when you're getting 212, you go
if you set a
2012.
target.
Yeah.
So, but if you say, "Oh, I want to earn $1,000 a day," okay, you're probably not going to do it. You're going to get disheartened really quickly. But if you start on $20, if you get $20, well, hang on, you're 10% to your goal already.
Yeah.
You're 10% that you started about a week ago or a month ago, and you're 10% there already. Brilliant. If you say, "Oh, I want to earn 10 grand a month," well, hey, I'm sorry, mate. It's started off with you $20 a day. You go, "Oh my god, I'm nowhere close." And you get disillusioned. So work out where you want to be, what you want to get at from internet marketing. Set yourself a goal, $212 a day, and then take it from there. Do whatever gets there, but don't do too much. Don't invest in tools that you don't need. Don't buy loads of programs you don't need. Just focus on your goal, what you want.
Or if you do buy a program and you're not using it, don't do what we've both done. End up with $400 a month going out, and you go, you shouldn't really do that, because I've heard Mark come back and just clear everything out every time, because you find only a few tools you need.
Get rid of all the stuff I wasn't using, and just get stuff that you'll use. If you don't use it, get rid of it.
Right.
But you don't.
But always be prepared to invest in yourself, buy books, buy courses, but tools we're talking about. But put a certain amount of your money on one side for investing into you. That's the best thing you can do.
Set aside time for learning.
Yeah.
So I have half a day a week where I sit in the office, right? I've got a nice comfy chair in the corner. I'll get a book and I'll read a book, or I'll fire up my laptop and I'll look at I'll buy a training course, because you've got to invest in yourself.
Yeah.
If you don't invest in yourself, no one else will.
There's an old saying: if you fail in business, and this is exactly the same, if you fail to promote yourself, a terrible thing happens. Nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's why you need to invest in yourself. So look, I'm going to ask Mark one last question, and I'll remind you again, right under this video, there'll be a link. This will get you through to Mark's free course, okay? And go in there, participate, ask questions, give him a hard time. He likes that, okay? Yeah. The more you get in there, the more you ask, the quicker he'll come back to you, the more we share. It's good for everybody, okay? So what I want to know is, what is tomorrow's video about? Because Mark does a video every Friday called the Friday thing, because it's a Friday, and it's with a very, very mad sort of guy called Tim. And
the silliest person I know.
Okay. Actually, Tim is an exceptionally good marketer. Mark's a crazy one, and Tim comes back with lots of ideas. You can almost see his brain thinking. Yeah. But every Friday, Mark he says, yeah, we'll do a 20-minute, and sometimes it runs into an hour. So if you go to the link below this video, you'll be able to get straight into that, because he'll notify you. So what is tomorrow's video about?
Tomorrow is one of our specials. It is basically, what's happened in the last year. Because obviously we're recording this, don't know when it will go out, but we record it just before Christmas. So what's happened in the last year, but the good and the bad things. Not just, oh yeah, we did this and it was great. It was, okay, we did this and it was rubbish. So
that's what a lot of people don't tell you.
Exactly.
Say, yeah, we made so much money. They don't tell you. Bloody hell.
I will say it now as a lesson to everyone. So I spent 3 weeks setting up this amazing funnel, right?
It didn't work.
It's seriously, it's the best thing I ever did.
Yeah.
Okay. It was 3 weeks. It's got lots of emails in it, and it's when people get to the end, it's got something like a 30 or 35% conversion rate. That's unheard of. 2 or 3% is normal conversion rate, right?
Oh, it really worked.
It worked. However, the trouble is, only about 1% of people actually get to the end of it.
Because it's so long. Yeah.
So exactly, because. It filters out a lot of people as it goes through, deliberately so. And it's sort of a whole evergreen sequence and stuff like that. When people get to the end of it, the chances are they're going to buy. But so few people get to the end of it, it's not worth doing. I might as well just have 2 pages, opt-in, thank you page, and then an email sequence.
Yeah.
And I'll probably make more sales that way than trying to be really clever. So keep things simple. I didn't follow my own rules. I didn't keep things simple.
I'm the same as you. I'm very good at overcomplicating things.
So occasionally I go through and I absolutely decimate my business.
Yeah. I've seen you do that, and you're going, "Oh, Mark, don't do it, don't do it."
I get rid of like half my email list overnight. Go, not interested. I get rid of products. I get rid of sites. No. And so what happens is I get left with a really small pool of sites, really small email list. I keep my email list. Okay, this is a lesson for everyone. I keep my email list below 1,000 because I write emails that I know get my open rate is still 40%. My emails.
Yeah, I'm going
so I can make a full-time income with less than 1,000 subscribers.
Please listen to that. What Mark just told you, people think that email marketing is difficult. It's big. There's a lot to know. Okay, but if you just start writing an email every day, as I advise, just send it back to yourself. And there's three parts to email marketing. There's writing the emails, which is probably the easiest bit. Okay, there's working out how to make money from it, and there's building trust with your email subscribers. One of the worst things I had happen last year, I think it was last year, you can perhaps remind me if I'm wrong, getting old, yeah, was when I followed Mark's advice and I decimated, well, I more than decimated it. I literally took my main money-making list from, I think about 3,000 or 4,000 down about 700. And I'm going, oh God, what did I do that for? And then I noticed I'm making more and more money. So I have a few lists, and I make a very good living off all of them. So what Mark's telling you, he wrote another book called 500 members, was it?
500 buyers.
500 buyers, yeah. And now he runs a course, I don't know if he's even running this course anymore, called Small Lists, Big Profits or something. What's it called?
Big income, small lists. Yeah, it's still there. I'm actually, believe it or not, it's what I'm actually working on between each side of this call is version 4 of it. I was going to release it tomorrow. It's not going to happen now.
I'm sorry, that's my fault. So if anybody's listening,
no, it's my fault. I got distracted and wrote another course instead about all the repurposing stuff. So I thought that was more important. But
I was in on number 1, version 1, and by the time I got to version 1, I'm going, oh, this is good. Yeah. And he goes, oh, I've done version 2, so I have to go through and learn all that again. I'm doing number 3 now.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, right, version 2 was without a doubt the best one I did. Version 3, I got too clever. I really overcomplicated it. So it was really highly advanced.
Keep it simple.
Yeah. And it was, I mean, I had email sequences and automations that ran for a year. And bearing in mind whatever action someone took, they went off another branch. It confused the hell out of me. So I thought, you know what? Let's just go back to basics. Let's just make it a little bit more clever, a little bit more simple. So that's version 4, back to basics.
Back to basics. I look forward to it. I'll get in there and read it. Yeah. Mark, thank you very much for your time, because I know you want to get that cut, and now I want version 4. So
it'll be first week in January, I think, probably second week in January.
Okay, Mark. Thank you very much. Please don't get Mark Thompson mixed up with the other Mark Thompson in America, because if you get on his list, I've been trying to get off his list for 5 years, and still he sends me emails, even though I'm subscribed from every one of them. Mark is completely different. So please go to the link below this video. You will enjoy it. Mark teaches you. If you don't find any value, you can send me horrible emails as well, but you will enjoy it, I promise you. So Mark, thank you so much for your time.
I was going to say, if you wanted to see what we're about, go and check out some of our live shows. They're on. You'll find them on YouTube. You'll find them on Facebook. You'll find them as podcasts. There's a lesson there.
Mark kind of he repurposes what he does in a lot of different places, and if you go to the link below this, you'll see he'll be advertising tomorrow's show. And you can watch it live, or you can watch it later on. Yeah. Listen, Mark, I'll be coming over shortly. I know I've been promising it for the last year to let you buy me a big steak meal. Also, I've got to buy you one. Okay, so, man. Until then, thank you very much, Mark. And I wish you compliments of the season. And I'll be listening tomorrow, and I'll be writing in a few insults as well. Thank you very much, Mark, for your time.
Bye.